Hi everybody, it's Sherry from the CGH Health Foundation, and I'm back in my kitchen with another easy, healthy recipe for you. And today I'm going to be making a cranberry sauce, and I call this my kinder cranberry sauce because cranberries are kind of controversial, or not controversial, but not everybody likes them. And I am not a fan of the can. I know a lot of people like that canned jellied cranberry stuff, but it has a lot of sugar in it. And yes, even at Thanksgiving, I am careful about my sugar. So here's an opportunity to give you a label reading lesson, if you will. So this is from the can of jellied cranberry sauce. And so the first thing I always look for is the sugar content. And so this particular one has 25 grams of sugar. And if you read closely down there, you'll see that 24 grams of it is added sugar. 24 grams is 6 teaspoons of sugar in a serving. And so that is an awful lot of sugar. And if you know about reading labels and you look down at the ingredients, you might know that when they list the ingredients, they list them in the order of quantity. And so you look at this and you think, well, you know, cranberries come first, so there's more cranberries in there than anything. But the next two ingredients are corn syrup and then corn syrup again. And so those are two ingredients, and if you add them up, there is a lot more of those in there than there are actual cranberries. And we know that we want to avoid high fructose corn syrup as much as we can. It's not very good for us. So anyway, a couple of things to note about reading your labels. So when I found out how easy it was to make my own cranberry sauce, I have been making it ever since. There is nothing to it. But the reason I call this kinder cranberry sauce is that I'm going to mix it with another fruit. And so what that does is it tends to tone down the tartness of the cranberry. And cranberries are the berry that has the least amount of sugar. So very little sugar, they're very tart. But if you can mix it with some other fruit, some juice, it kind of what do I want to say? Dilutes the tartness of the cranberry. And you can use a lot of different fruits to do this. Today I'm going to be using blackberries, but I have made this recipe with cherries. You could use raspberries, you could use apple. Those would be all great choices to make this cranberry sauce with. So I'm going to get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is going to start with an orange. So this is a navel orange, and I've already started taking some of the peel off, grating some of the orange peel or zesting it. So I got my little zester here, you can see that, and I've already zested most of it, but just to give you an idea. So you're just going to run your zester over the rind of the orange. You don't want to get too much of the white pith because that tends to be bitter. You're just trying to get that orange outer layer there. This is a huge orange, so I'm probably going to get a couple of teaspoons. I don't really need all of that, but my husband was in charge of buying the orange, so he always buys the biggest that is available. So that's what you're going to do to zest the orange. I'm going to put that right in the pan here. And then I'm going to use the flesh of the orange as just some additional texture and sweetener. So I'm going to take off the skin here. And I don't mind having the membrane that separates the sections of the orange. So I'm going to leave that in. If you wanted to get really fancy and you had good knife skills, you could supreme the orange, and that just means that you run your knife down the inside of one section and then the inside of the other and put it in there like that. But like I said, I don't mind having the flesh and that membrane in there. So I'm just going to chop it up a little bit, and it'll cook down and break down in the sauce as we do this. So that's the first step. We're going to put some orange zest and the flesh of an orange in there. Okay, that is all in there. Citrus and cranberries goes really well together. So I really recommend using the orange along with any kind of cranberry sauce you're making. So next I have about 8 ounces of fresh cranberries. Aren't they beautiful? So berries are one of the healthiest foods you can eat. Pretty much any kind of berry. And you can see why they're healthy because you see the color. And that color indicates lots of antioxidants, which are cell protective. Berries are a great source of polyphenol. They're a great source of soluble fiber, and they're very light in calories. And so I recommend eating berries all the time. And in the wintertime, cranberries are a great choice. That's what's in season, that's what we can find. So I washed these and I kind of picked out some that were really smashed, although if they're a little bit dented, it doesn't really matter because they're going to cook down to almost nothing. So again, 8 ounces washed fresh cranberries is going in my pot. The next thing is the blackberries, and I've got 2 cups of blackberries. So 8 ounces of fresh cranberries is about 2 cups. 12 ounces of blackberries is about 2 cups. And you're like, whoa, what do you mean? Well, cranberries are so light. You probably know how they're grown. They're grown on a plant and then flooded. And then as the berry gets broken away from the plant, it floats to the top. Cranberries have a lot of air in them. They bounce. So that's why 2 cups of cranberries weighs less than 2 cups of blackberries. So the blackberries are going in there. The next thing I'm going to put in is some spice. So these cranberry sauces, these fresh cranberry sauces using the whole fruit, the spice is what makes it really smell good. And so my spices are a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I tell you what, once this starts cooking, your house is going to smell like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's just wonderful. The last thing I'm going to add, and so this adds another layer of sweetness, and this could be apple juice. I happen to have some apple cider in the house, and so I'm putting in a cup of apple cider. And just going to stir this together and put it over medium heat. All right, and bring it to a simmer. And once it starts to simmer, it'll take maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and you want to stir it a few more times, and you will start to hear the cranberries pop. So you know it's close to being done. And after that, it's kind of a matter of preference. So if you think that you want to have a little smoother, more broken down sauce, then you could let it cook a little longer after that. If you like the chunkiness, and I tend to like the chunkiness of the berries and everything in there, so I might stop it when I hear those first few cranberries pop. And that's all it takes, really. You're going to put it in a bowl, put it in the refrigerator. So this is a great dish to make a day or 2 or 3 even ahead of Thanksgiving, a great make-ahead dish. And as it chills and cools, it's going to really gel and turn a beautiful red color. So here is some cranberry jelly or cranberry sauce that I made yesterday. And for this one, I used the cherries, right? Isn't it beautiful? You could add things into your cranberry sauce. I know a lot of people like to have chopped nuts in their cranberry sauce. So if you wanted to add some chopped walnuts or chopped pecans, that would be really good. I have been known, and I know people who maybe have added a little bit of orange liqueur to their cranberry sauce. So some Cointreau or some triple sec, not too much of it. And that is entirely up to you if you want to do that. Another really unusual thing that you might add, and I made a blackberry and cranberry sauce recipe a couple years ago that I put balsamic vinegar in. And that was awesome. So that's a more chefy kind of gourmet thing. But anyway, that's how easy it is to make cranberry sauce. Just throw everything together and cook it down a bit. I'm going to taste this. looks really good. And it is. The tartness of the berries, the spices in there. This is going to be great alongside a turkey. But, and if you watch my videos before, you know I eat a lot of oatmeal and seasonal flavors of oatmeal. And so even though it's just my husband and I for Thanksgiving this year, I'm going to make the whole recipe and use the leftovers to put in my oatmeal for the week after. So you can find all of the CGH What's Cooking videos on the CGH website, on our YouTube page, and we have lots of other educational videos out there, our monthly Growing Healthier programs. So look it up there, and I hope you try to make your own cranberry sauce this year, and if you do, let me know how it turns out. Thank you.